Awakening in the Void, Captain Zora Chen's Rude Awakening. The gentle hum of machinery filled the air as Captain Zora Chen's eyes fluttered open. Her vision, blurry at first, slowly focused on the metallic ceiling above her. Something was wrong. The familiar warmth of her hibernation pod was absent, replaced by the cool touch of the ship's sterile air against her skin. Zora sat up, her muscles protesting after what should have been decades of inactivity. The room around her was dimly lit, emergency lights casting an eerie red glow across the rows of hibernation pods. Her pod alone stood open, its lid raised like a gaping maw in the silence. "Computer status report," Zora called out, her voice hoarse from disuse. The ship's air responded, its tone unnaturally cheerful given the circumstances. "Good morning, Captain Chen. The date is March 15, 2318. We are currently 47 light-years from Earth en route to the Proxima Centauri colony. All systems are functioning within acceptable parameters." Zora's heart raced. 2318. That was impossible. She had entered hibernation in 2275, and the journey to Proxima Centauri was supposed to take 150 years. Something had gone terribly wrong. "Computer, why have I been awakened?" Zora demanded, swinging her legs over the side of the pod and wincing as her feet touched the cold floor. "An anomaly in your hibernation pod systems triggered an emergency awakening protocol," the AI replied. "The cause of the malfunction is currently unknown." Zora stumbled to her feet, her legs weak from atrophy. She made her way to the nearest computer terminal, her fingers flying across the touchscreen as she accessed the ship's logs. What she found made her blood run cold. The U.S. Hope, Earth's most ambitious colonization effort to date, carried 10,000 colonists and a crew of 50. All of them, save for Zora, remained in hibernation. The ship had encountered an unexplained spatial anomaly 3 years into its journey, causing widespread system failures. The AI had managed to stabilize most functions, but Zora's pod had been irreparably damaged. "Computer, can I be placed back into hibernation?" Zora asked, already dreading the answer. "Negative, Captain Chen. Your pod's neural interface has been compromised. Attempting to re-induce hibernation would result in severe brain damage or death." Zora leaned against the terminal, her mind reeling. She was awake 47 light-years from Earth, with 100 years of journey still ahead. She was alone. The next few days passed in a blur as Zora acclimated to her new reality. She ran diagnostics on every system, searching for a way to repair her pod or wake the rest of the crew. But the damage was too extensive, the risks too great. The fate of the mission now rested solely on her shoulders. Zora established a routine, dividing her time between maintaining the ship's systems, studying the colonization protocols, and keeping herself physically and mentally fit. The vast hydroponics bay became her sanctuary, the gentle rustle of leaves and the earthy scent of soil a reminder of the home she had left behind. Weeks turned into months, and months into years. Zora's only companions were the ship's AI and the thousands of sleeping souls under her care. She talked to them sometimes, standing in the hibernation chamber, imagining the lives they would lead when they finally reached their new home. It was during one of these moments, 5 years into her solitary journey, that everything changed. Zora stood before the pod of Dr. Elias Reeves, the mission's lead xenobiologist. She had been discussing his theories on potential alien life forms they might encounter, a one-sided conversation that helped keep her mind sharp. Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently, throwing Zora to the ground. Alarms blared as emergency lights flashed. "Warning. Unknown object on collision course." The A's voice boomed through the ship. "Impact imminent." Zora scrambled to her feet, racing towards the bridge. The ship rocked again as she burst through the doors, nearly sending her sprawling. "On screen," she commanded, dropping into the captain's chair. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a massive object hurtling towards them. It was like nothing Zora had ever seen, A writhing mass of tentacles surrounding a pulsating, crystalline core. It was alive, and it was heading straight for them. "Evasive maneuvers," Zara shouted, her fingers dancing across the control panel. The US Hope groaned as its long-dormant engines roared to life, straining against the inertia of decades of steady flight. The alien entity filled the viewscreen, its tentacles reaching out as if to embrace the ship. Zara's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the full weight of her situation. 10,000 lives depended on her actions in the next few moments. With a deep breath, Zara made a decision that would alter the course of human history. "Computer, divert all power to the shields and prepare for emergency FTL jump." Warning: unplanned FTL jump may result in critical system failures and unknown navigational errors, the AI cautioned. "Acknowledged. Do it now." The ship lurched as the FTL drive engaged. The viewscreen erupted in a kaleidoscope of colors as the US Hope tore through the fabric of space-time, leaving the mysterious entity behind. As the ship hurtled through subspace, Zara gripped the arms of her chair, her knuckles white. She had no idea where they would emerge or what consequences her desperate action would have. But she had preserved the mission and the lives of those under her protection. Little did Zara know, this encounter was just the beginning. Her solitary journey had come to an end, but a new adventure, one that would test the very limits of human ingenuity and determination, was about to begin. As the US Hope dropped out of FTL, alarms blared throughout the ship. Zara's eyes widened as she took in the sight before her. They had emerged in an unknown star system, surrounded by a debris field that stretched as far as the eye could see. "Computer, damage report," Zara commanded, her fingers flying over the control panel. "Hull integrity at 82%. Minor breaches detected in sectors 7 and 13. FTL drive offline. Long-range communications array damaged. Hibernation systems stable," the AI responded, its calm voice a stark contrast to the chaos around them. Zara's mind raced. They were damaged, lost, and alone in uncharted space. But the colonists were safe, and that was what mattered most. She had bought them time, but at what cost? As she began to assess their situation, a new alert caught her attention. The sensors had detected something amid the debris, something that would change everything. "Captain Chen," the AI announced, "I'm detecting signs of artificial structures within the debris field. Origin: unknown. Composition: inconsistent with known human technology." Zara's breath caught in her throat. After decades of solitude, after an encounter with one alien entity, she now faced the prospect of a true first contact scenario. As she stared at the mysterious structures floating among the debris, one thought echoed in her mind. Humanity's greatest journey was about to take an unexpected turn, and she, Captain Zara Chen, would be at the forefront of it all. Alien encounter. First contact with the Crixon. Captain Zara Chen stood motionless on the bridge of the US Hope, her eyes fixed on the viewscreen. The debris field surrounding them was unlike anything she had ever seen, a graveyard of twisted metal and crystalline structures that glittered in the light of an unfamiliar star. "Computer, scan those structures. I want to know everything about them," Zara commanded, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. As the AI began its analysis, Zara's mind raced. In all her years of solitude, she had prepared for countless scenarios, but this was beyond imagination. The fate of 10,000 colonists hung in the balance, and she was their only hope. "Scan complete," the AI announced. The structures appear to be remnants of an advanced civilization. Composition includes unknown alloys and energy signatures, detecting faint life signs in the largest structure, approximately 500 kilometers from our current position. Zara's heart skipped a beat. "Life signs. Are you certain?" "Affirmative, Captain. Multiple biosignatures detected, inconsistent with known human physiology." For a moment, Zara allowed herself to feel the weight of this discovery. Humanity had long wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now she stood on the precipice of answering that question forever. "Plot a course to the structure," she ordered. "Approach with caution. Divert power to shields and sensors." As the U.S. Hope maneuvered through the debris field, Zara prepared herself for first contact. She had studied the protocols, of course, but they seemed woefully inadequate in the face of this reality. The ship drew closer to the alien structure, its true scale becoming apparent. It was massive, easily dwarfing the Hope, with strange, organic-looking protrusions and pulsating lights along its surface. Suddenly, a beam of energy shot out from the structure, enveloping the Hope in a soft, blue glow. "Captain, we're being scanned," the AI reported. No signs of hostile intent detected. Before Zara could respond, the view screen flickered, and an image appeared. The being that stared back at her was unlike anything she had ever seen. It had multiple eyes arranged in a circular pattern around a central orb, tentacle-like appendages that seemed to serve as both arms and legs, and skin that shimmered with bioluminescence. "Greetings, traveler," a voice echoed through the bridge, resonating directly in Zara's mind. "We are the Crixan. We welcome you to what remains of our home." Zara took a deep breath, steadying herself. "I am Captain Zara Chen of the Earth ship U.S. Hope. We come in peace, seeking a new home for our people." The Crixan's eyes pulsed with light. "Your journey has brought you far, Captain Chen. We have long awaited the arrival of others who navigate the stars, but we fear you have arrived at a most inopportune time." "What do you mean?" Zara asked, a sense of unease growing in her stomach. "Our civilization is in its twilight," the Crixan explained, its voice tinged with sorrow. "A great calamity befell us centuries ago, and what you see around you are the last remnants of our people. We are but a fraction of what we once were." Zara's mind raced with questions, but before she could voice them, the ship shuddered violently. "Warning," the AI blared. "Multiple unidentified vessels approaching at high speed. Energy signatures suggest advanced weapons systems." The Crixan's eyes flashed with urgency. "They have found us. Captain Chen, you must flee. The Vorax come, and they will show no mercy." "Who are the Vorax?" Zara demanded, her hands flying over the control panel as she prepared the ship for potential combat. "They are the destroyers, the scourge that laid waste to our civilization," the Crixan explained hurriedly. "They consume all in their path, strip-mining planets and harvesting sentient species for their bioenergy. You must not let them find your homeworld." Zara's blood ran cold. The threat was no longer just of her ship and its precious cargo of colonists, but to Earth itself. "We can't just leave you here," Zara protested, even as the first explosions rocked the debris field around them. The Crixan's expression shifted, its bioluminescence dimming. "Our fate was sealed long ago, Captain, but perhaps there is a way we can help each other." "I'm listening," Zara said, her mind already formulating plans and contingencies. "We possess technology that could greatly aid your people," the Crixan offered. "If you can buy us time to transfer our knowledge to your ship, we will give you the means to defend yourselves against the Vorax and perhaps to save what remains of our people." Zara didn't hesitate. "Agreed. What do you need us to do?" As the Crixan began transmitting data to the Hope's computers, Zara sprang into action. She directed the ship's defenses, using the debris field as cover while laying down suppressing fire against the approaching Vorax ships. The next hours were a blur of tactical maneuvers, weapons fire, and frantic data transfer. Zara pushed both herself and the Hope to their limits, drawing on every ounce of skill and determination she possessed. Just as the data transfer completed, a massive Vorax warship emerged from behind one of the larger debris chunks. It dwarfed the Hope, its weapons already charging for a killing blow. "Transfer complete," the Crixan announced, its voice weaker now. "You have our legacy, Captain Chen. Use it wisely, and may it serve your people well." "Come with us," Zara pleaded, even as she knew it was impossible. "Our time has passed," the Crixan replied softly. But through you, perhaps a part of us will live on. Now go, flee this place and prepare your people for what is to come." With a heavy heart, Zara engaged the Hope's engines. As they sped away from the battlefield, she watched on the view screen as the Crixum structure erupted in a blinding explosion, taking out several Vorax ships with it. Tears streamed down Zara's face as she pushed the Hope to its limits, leaving behind the graveyard of a civilization and carrying with her the weight of their final gift. She had started this journey alone, tasked with leading humanity to a new home. Now she carried an even greater burden, the knowledge to save a species from a threat they never knew existed. As the stars streaked by, Zara made a silent vow. She would protect the colonists, find a way to warn Earth, and ensure that the sacrifice of the Crixum was not in vain. The true test of humanity's resilience and ingenuity was just beginning, and Zara Chen would be damned if she let her species fall without a fight. Human ingenuity, solving the ship's critical malfunction. The U.S. Hope hurtled through space, pushing its damaged systems to the limit as it fled the Vorax threat. Captain Zara Chen's hands flew over the control panels, her mind racing to process the events of the past few hours. The encounter with the Crixum and the looming danger of the Vorax had changed everything, but the immediate concern was clear. They needed to find a safe haven to assess their situation and repair the ship. As if sensing her thoughts, the ship's AI spoke up. "Captain, we have a problem. The FTL drive is showing signs of imminent failure. Continued use may result in a catastrophic overload." Zara's heart sank. Without FTL capabilities, they were sitting ducks. "How long do we have?" At current speed, approximately 17 minutes before critical failure, the AI responded. Zara took a deep breath, centering herself. "All right, let's think this through. Computer, scan for any nearby systems or celestial bodies where we can take shelter." After a tense moment, the AI replied, detecting a binary star system approximately 0.8 light-years from our current position. The system contains several planetary bodies, including one that appears to be within the habitable zone. "Plot a course," Zara commanded. "We'll drop out of FTL at the system's edge and use conventional drives from there." As the ship changed course, Zara turned her attention to the Crixum data. The alien technology was far beyond anything humanity had developed, and deciphering it would take time they didn't have. But perhaps there was something in there that could help with their immediate problem. Zara spent the next 15 minutes poring over the data, her trained mind quickly sorting through the alien concepts. Just as the AI warned of imminent FTL failure, something caught her eye. "Computer, implement this subroutine into the FTL drive's control systems," Zara said, transferring a section of the Crixum data. "Warning. Implementing unknown alien technology may result in unpredictable consequences," the AI cautioned. "Noted," Zara replied grimly. "But right now, unpredictable is better than certain destruction. Do it." As the new code integrated with the ship's systems, the violent shuddering that had been growing steadily worse suddenly subsided. The FTL drive's alarms quieted, and a sense of stability returned to the ship. FTL drive stability increased by 47%, the AI reported, a note of surprise in its artificial voice. Estimated time to failure now extended to 3 hours and 22 minutes. Zara allowed herself a small smile. It wasn't a permanent fix, but it bought them the time they desperately needed. "Good work, everyone," she said to the empty bridge, a habit formed from years of solitude. "Now, let's make the most of it." The Hope dropped out of FTL at the edge of the binary star system, its conventional drives kicking in as they approached the potentially habitable planet. As they drew closer, Zara's eyes widened at the sight before her. The planet was a swirling mass of blues, greens, and whites, a world that looked remarkably like Earth. Scans confirmed the presence of a breathable atmosphere, liquid water, and vegetation. It was a colonist's dream come true. But there was no time to celebrate. As soon as they achieved a stable orbit, Zara set to work. She needed to repair the ship, analyze the Crixon data, and figure out how to wake the colonists safely. And she had to do it all before the Vorax potentially tracked them down. Over the next few days, Zara worked tirelessly. She used the ship's maintenance drones to conduct external repairs, all while poring over the Crixon technology database. Slowly but surely, she began to understand the incredible advancements the aliens had made in propulsion, energy generation, and even biology. It was during one of her study sessions that Zara made a breakthrough. Hidden within the Crixon data was the key to not only repairing the FTL drive, but enhancing it beyond anything humanity had ever dreamed possible. "Computer," Zara called out, excitement evident in her voice, "begin fabrication of these components and prepare for a full overhaul of the FTL drive." As the ship's fabricators hummed to life, creating parts that looked more like works of art than machinery, Zara allowed herself a moment of hope. With this technology, they could outrun the Vorax, find a safe haven for the colonists, and maybe even make it back to Earth to warn them of the coming threat. But the work was far from over. As Zara began the delicate process of integrating the new components with the Hope's existing systems, she encountered problem after problem. The Crixon technology was simply too advanced, too alien for the ship's systems to fully comprehend. Frustration mounted as days turned into weeks. Zara's hands were covered in burns and cuts from her constant work, and exhaustion tugged at the edges of her consciousness. But she refused to give up. The lives of 10,000 colonists and potentially the entire human race depended on her success. It was in a moment of near despair, as Zara stared at yet another failed integration attempt, that inspiration struck. She had been trying to force the Crixon technology to conform to human standards. What if, instead, she rebuilt the Hope's systems around the alien tech? With renewed energy, Zara set to work. She dismantled entire sections of the ship, rebuilding them from the ground up with a fusion of human ingenuity and Crixon advancement. It was a monumental task, one that pushed her to the very limits of her capabilities. Weeks turned into months, but finally, after what felt like an eternity of work, Zara stood before the newly reconstructed FTL drive. It hummed with an energy that seemed to defy the laws of physics, a testament to the incredible potential of combining two vastly different technological approaches. "Computer," Zara said, her voice hoarse from lack of use, "run a full diagnostic on all ship systems." The AI was silent for a long moment, longer than it had ever taken to process such a request. When it finally spoke, there was an unfamiliar tone in its voice, something akin to awe. "Captain Chen," it said, "all systems are not only functional but operating at efficiencies previously thought impossible. The FTL drive's capabilities have been increased by a factor of 750. Power generation is stable and self-sustaining. And, Captain, I believe we now have the ability to create localized folds in space-time." Zara's knees felt weak as the implications washed over her. They hadn't just repaired the ship, they had transformed it into something beyond anything humanity had ever created. As she stared out at the lush, Earth-like planet below, a plan began to form in Zara's mind. With this incredible new technology at her disposal, she could ensure the safety of the colonists, warn Earth of the Vorax threat, and perhaps even find a way to strike back against the cosmic predators that had nearly ended their journey. Captain Zara Chen, once doomed to 90 years of solitude, now stood at the helm of humanity's greatest achievement. The true test was yet to come, but for the first time since awakening from hibernation, Zara felt something she had almost forgotten: hope. Battle of wits. Outsmarting the Crixon invaders. With the US Hope now a marvel of human and Crixon technology, Captain Zara Chen faced her next challenge: waking the colonists. The ship's enhanced systems allowed for a more controlled revival process, and Zara decided to awaken the command crew first. As the hibernation pods hissed open, Zara steeled herself. After years of solitude, she was about to face her fellow humans again. Dr. Elias Reeves, the mission's lead scientist, was the first to fully regain consciousness. Captain Chen, he mumbled, blinking in confusion. What's going on? Why are we awake? Over the next few hours, Zara briefed the awakened crew on everything that had transpired: her early revival, the encounter with the Crixon, the Vorax threat, and the technological leap they had made. The crew's reactions ranged from awe to disbelief to fear. "So what's our next move, Captain?" asked Commander Sara Takahashi, the mission's second-in-command. Zara took a deep breath. "We need to prepare for the possibility of a Vorax attack, but we also need to establish a colony on the planet below. It's our best chance for survival and for protecting the rest of the colonists." The crew set to work, their training kicking in despite the extraordinary circumstances. As they began the process of waking more colonists and preparing for planetfall, Zara focused on understanding and implementing more of the Crixon technology. Weeks passed as they established a fledgling colony on the planet, which they named New Hope. The colonists marveled at the lush, Earth-like world, quickly adapting to their new home. But Zara couldn't shake the feeling that their peace was temporary. Her fears were realized when, 3 months after their arrival, the ship's enhanced long-range sensors detected multiple Vorax vessels entering the system. "Battle stations," Zara commanded, her voice echoing through the colony and the orbiting Hope. "Initiate evacuation protocol Alpha." The colonists, drilled for this possibility, rushed to their designated shelters. Meanwhile, Zara and a skeleton crew boarded the Hope, preparing to face the Vorax threat head-on. As the alien ships approached, Zara's mind raced. The Hope's new capabilities were impressive, but they were still vastly outnumbered. They needed a plan. "Dr. Rees," Zara called over the comm, "what can you tell me about the Vorax based on the Crixon data?" Rees' voice crackled back, tinged with excitement despite the dire situation. "The Vorax appear to be a hive-mind species, Captain. They rely heavily on their central command ship for coordination. If we could disrupt that, then the rest might fall into disarray," Zara finished, a plan forming in her mind. "Computer, analyze the Vorax fleet. Identify the most likely candidate for their command ship." The AI quickly highlighted a massive vessel at the center of the Vorax formation. It was easily 3 times the size of the Hope, bristling with weapons. Zara's fingers flew over the controls, implementing her desperate plan. "All power to the new space-time manipulation drive. We're going to hit them where they least expect it." The Hope shimmered, seemingly phasing out of existence as it slipped into a localized fold in space-time. The Vorax ships, caught off guard by the sudden disappearance of their prey, fell into momentary confusion. In that instant, the Hope reappeared, directly above the Vorax command ship. Before the aliens could react, Zara unleashed the full power of their Crixon-enhanced weapons. Beams of energy that defied conventional physics lanced out, carving through the command ship's defenses like they were tissue paper. The massive alien vessel shuddered, secondary explosions rippling across its surface. As it began to break apart, the rest of the Vorax fleet fell into chaos, their coordinated attack dissolving into individual ships firing blindly. "Now's our chance," Zara shouted. "Target their engines and weapons. We need to disable as many as we can." The battle that followed was unlike anything in human history. The Hope danced between points in spacetime, appearing and disappearing around the Vorax ships. Each appearance was marked by devastating attacks that the aliens seemed powerless to counter. But the Vorax were not defeated easily. As the battle wore on, they began to adapt, their remaining ships forming smaller independent units. They launched waves of fighters, threatening to overwhelm the Hope through sheer numbers. Zara gritted her teeth, sweat beading on her brow as she pushed both herself and the ship to their limits. "Computer, how many Vorax ships remain operational?" 37% of the original fleet remains combat effective, Captain, the AI responded. "However, our power reserves are down to 22%. Zara's mind raced. They had bloodied the Vorax nose, but they couldn't keep this up forever. They needed a way to end this decisively. Suddenly, an idea struck her. A desperate, possibly suicidal plan, but one that might just work. "All hands, brace for emergency maneuver," Zara called out. "Computer, plot a course for the system's star. Prepare to execute on my mark." The crew looked at her in shock, but years of discipline kept them at their posts. The Hope turned, accelerating towards the binary stars at the heart of the system. The Vorax, sensing victory, gave chase. As they neared the stars, the heat and radiation began to overwhelm even the Hope's advanced shielding. "Captain, we can't get much closer," Commander Takahashi warned, her voice strained. "Just a little more," Zara muttered, her eyes fixed on the sensors. The Vorax fleet was right behind them, their bloodlust overriding their self-preservation. At the last possible second, Zara shouted, "Now! Execute space-time fold." The Hope vanished, reappearing safely on the other side of the star system. The Vorax, unable to react in time, plunged into the star's corona. Ship after ship succumbed to the intense heat and gravity, disappearing in brief flares of light. As the last Vorax ship vanished, a cheer erupted on the Hope's bridge. They had done it. They had faced humanity's greatest threat and emerged victorious. But Zara knew this was only the beginning. As she looked out at the stars, her mind was already racing with the challenges ahead. They had to secure their new home, find a way to warn Earth, and prepare for the day when the Vorax would inevitably return in greater numbers. The battle was won, but the war for humanity's future was just beginning. And Captain Zara Chen, once a lone sentinel in the void, now stood as humanity's greatest hope for survival in a universe far more dangerous and wondrous than they had ever imagined. The Great Sacrifice, Zara's desperate gambit. In the wake of their victory against the Vorax, the colonists of New Hope experienced a period of relative peace. The planet proved to be a bountiful new home, with fertile soil and a clement climate that allowed their crops to flourish. Under Captain Zara Chen's leadership, the colony grew and prospered. But Zara could not shake the feeling that their respite was temporary. She spent countless hours poring over the Crixon data, searching for a way to protect not just New Hope, but Earth itself from the Vorax threat. The solution, when it finally came to her, was as brilliant as it was terrifying. "We need to build a beacon," Zara announced of a senior staff one day, her eyes alight with determination. "A quantum entanglement communicator that can instantly send a message across the vast distance to Earth." Dr. Rees leaned forward, intrigued. "But Captain, even with the Crixon technology, the power requirements for such a device would be enormous," Zara finished for him. "I know. That's why we're going to build it inside the star." A stunned silence fell over the room. Commander Takahashi was the first to find her voice. "Inside the star. Captain, that's impossible. The heat, the pressure." "Not impossible," Zara countered. "Difficult, yes. Dangerous, absolutely. But not impossible. The Crixon had theories about harnessing stellar energy. With our advancements, we can make it a reality." Over the next months, the colonists worked tirelessly to bring Zara's vision to life. They constructed a series of automated probes designed to withstand the incredible conditions inside the star. These probes would work together to create a stable pocket within the stellar plasma, where the quantum beacon could be built. As the project neared completion, a somber mood fell over the colony. Everyone understood the stakes. If successful, they would be able to warn Earth about the Vorax threat and potentially save billions of lives. But the act of activating the beacon would likely attract the attention of any Vorax ships in the sector. The night before the beacon was set to be activated, Zara stood alone on a hill overlooking the colony. The binary stars painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson, a beautiful sight that belied the danger they all faced. Commander Takahashi approached, standing silently beside her captain for a long moment before speaking. "The colonists are asking questions, Zara. They want to know what happens after we send the message." Zara nodded, her expression grim. "I know, and they deserve the truth. Activating the beacon will likely bring the Vorax down on us in force. We'll need to evacuate. Evacuate. Takahashi's eyes widened. But where? We've only just begun to make this planet our home. The Hope, Zora replied softly. We've modified her to carry the entire colony. Once the message is sent, we'll need to leave this system immediately. Takahashi shook her head in disbelief. But the Hope wasn't designed for long-term habitation of so many people. And where would we go? Zora turned to face her second-in-command, her eyes filled with a mixture of determination and sorrow. We'll go where the Vorax can't follow. With the enhanced FTL drive, we can push deeper into unexplored space than any human has ever gone before. It's the only way to ensure the survival of our people and give Earth a fighting chance. The next day, as the colony bustled with evacuation preparations, Zora stood on the bridge of the Hope, her finger hovering over the control that would activate the beacon. With a deep breath, she pressed it. Deep within the churning plasma of the binary stars, the quantum beacon flared to life. In an instant, a message was sent across vast light-years of space. Earth, this is the colony ship Hope. We have encountered a hostile alien species known as the Vorax. They are a grave threat to humanity. Prepare your defenses. We will try to divert their attention away from Earth. May God be with us all. Almost immediately, the ship's sensors blared a warning. Multiple Vorax ships were detected entering the system, their numbers far greater than in the previous encounter. All colonists accounted for and secured, Captain, Takahashi reported, her voice tense. Zora nodded, her face set in grim determination. Engage the FTL drive. Take us beyond the galactic rim. As the Hoax shimmered and disappeared into the depths of space, leaving behind the world they had briefly called home, Zara felt the weight of her decisions pressing down upon her. They were leaving behind everything they knew, fleeing into uncharted territory with no guarantee of finding a new home. But as she looked at the faces of her crew and the colonists they had sworn to protect, Zara knew that she had made the right choice. They carried with them the hope of humanity, the seeds of a civilization that might one day flourish among the stars. The journey ahead would be long and fraught with danger, but Captain Zara Chen, once doomed to solitude, now led an exodus into the unknown. And in that vast cosmic ocean, they would face whatever challenges awaited them, united in their determination to survive and thrive. As the familiar stars faded behind them, replaced by the uncharted vastness of intergalactic space, Zara allowed herself a small smile. Their greatest adventure was just beginning. Triumph of humanity, unexpected allies and victory. The U.S. Hope hurtled through the void between galaxies, carrying the last remnants of the New Hope colony into uncharted territory. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, as Captain Zara Chen led her people on an exodus unlike any in human history. The ship, once designed for a straightforward colonization mission, had become a generational arc. Children were born, elders passed away, and life continued in the confines of their technological marvel. Zara watched it all with a mixture of pride and concern, knowing that each passing day brought new challenges. It was during the ship's 547th day of extragalactic travel that everything changed. Captain, the A's voice broke the routine hum of the bridge. I'm detecting an anomaly ahead. Zara leaned forward in her chair, instantly alert. What kind of anomaly? Unknown, Captain. It appears to be a distortion in space-time, unlike anything in our database. As they drew closer, the distortion became visible on the main view screen, a swirling vortex of colors that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Suddenly, a transmission crackled through the ship's communications system. The language was unlike anything they had ever heard, but thanks to the cricks and translation matrices they had integrated into their systems, they could understand the message. Refugees of Earth, we've been expecting you. Enter the gateway. Sanctuary awaits. Zora exchanged glances with her senior staff. After a moment of tense deliberation, she made her decision. Take us in, Helm. Slowly. As the Hope entered the vortex, the ship was enveloped in a cascade of energy. When they emerged on the other side, a collective gasp echoed through the bridge. Before them lay a massive space station, its architecture a blend of organic and technological elements unlike anything they had ever seen. Surrounding it were ships of various designs, some reminiscent of the Crixon vessel they had encountered so long ago. A new transmission came through, this time accompanied by a visual. The being on the screen was clearly not human, with iridescent skin and multifaceted eyes, but its expression seemed almost kind. Welcome, humans of hope, to the Galactic Concordat. We are an alliance of species united against the Vorax threat. We've been monitoring your journey and your struggles. Your bravery in warning your homeworld at great cost to yourselves has not gone unnoticed. Zara stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. I am Captain Zara Chen of the U.S. Hope. On behalf of humanity, we thank you for your welcome. But I must ask, how did you know about us? About our mission? The alien's expression shifted to something akin to amusement. Captain, did you think the Crixon who sacrificed themselves to save you were the last of their kind? A faction of their species has been part of our alliance for centuries. They informed us of your encounter and your potential. Over the next few days, Zara and her crew were introduced to the wonders of the Galactic Concordat. They learned of the millennia-long struggle against the Vorax, of technologies beyond their wildest dreams, and of the hope that their arrival had kindled. Your fusion of Crixon and human technology is remarkable, one of the Concordat scientists marveled as they examined the Hope. It shows an adaptability and ingenuity that could turn the tide in our war against the Vorax. But even as they marveled at their new allies and the sanctuary they had found, Zara's thoughts kept returning to Earth. Is there any way we can help our homeworld? She asked during a strategic meeting with Concordat leadership. The answer came in the form of a bold plan. The Concordat had developed technology that could create stable wormholes, allowing for near-instantaneous travel across vast distances. With the Hope's unique technological signature serving as a beacon, they could open a wormhole directly to Earth's solar system. The next months were a flurry of activity as the Hope was retrofitted with Concordat technology. The colonists trained alongside alien allies, preparing for the battle that lay ahead. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. The Hope, now leading a fleet of Concordat ships, emerged from a wormhole on the outskirts of the solar system. They arrived to find Earth under siege, a massive Vorax armada darkening the skies. But humanity had not been idle in the years since Zara's warning. The combined forces of Earth, bolstered by reverse-engineered Crixon technology from the Hope's message, had been holding their own against the Vorax onslaught. The arrival of the Hope and the Concordat fleet turned the tide of the battle. Zara, commanding from the bridge of the ship that had been her solitary home for so long, felt a surge of pride as human ingenuity combined with alien advanced technology to push back the Vorax threat. The battle was fierce, with losses on all sides, but in the end, the Vorax fleet was routed. As the last enemy ships fled or were destroyed, a cheer went up across the combined fleet that echoed across space itself. In the aftermath, as the Hope docked with the International Space Station for the first time in over a century, Zara stood before a viewscreen, gazing down at the blue marble of Earth. Tears streamed down her face as the enormity of their journey, their sacrifices, and their triumph washed over her. Commander Takahashi approached, placing a hand on her captain's shoulder. We did it, Zara. We saved Earth. We found allies among the stars. What happens now? Zara turned, a smile breaking through her tears. Now we take our place among the stars. We rebuild, we learn, we grow. The Vorax are still out there, and there are wonders in this universe we've yet to discover. She looked around at her crew, at the faces of humans and aliens working side by side. Our journey isn't over, Zara. In many ways, it's only just begun. As the sun rose over Earth, bathing the Hope in golden light, Captain Zara Chen realized that her years of solitude, her sacrifices, and her unwavering determination had led to this moment. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged stronger, no longer alone in the cosmos, but part of a grand alliance of sentient beings. The future stretched out before them, full of possibilities and challenges yet to come. But whatever lay ahead, Zara knew that they would face it together, as a united humanity, as part of the galactic concordat, as explorers and defenders of life throughout the universe. The end of one journey had become the beginning of an even greater adventure, and as Zara gave the order to prepare the Hope for its next mission, she couldn't help but smile. The best was yet to come.